Hey Superstars, we're back with a workout which is going to be full body. You can do this from the comfort of your own home or hotel. You do not need equipment though. If you have a band or two, that's going to be super helpful. These are really easy to transport when you're traveling, which is great. And also any kind of dumbbell that you have lying around the house, or even a really big water bottle that you can fill up, is going to do the trick. So to begin with, we're going to start with something more core focused. We're then going to move into something for the back of the legs, and then something more front of the leg focused. So make sure you've done your warm up already, which was in a previous video. Make sure you run through that if you haven't before you start this, because we want to make sure we don't hurt ourselves, okay? So again, slippers optional. I'm going to take mine off because we're going to do a plank, and we're going to need to be on our toes for that. So plank, I'm going to show you two different ways. We can do on the floor, which is more traditional. If you want to, you can also use an elevated surface such as this amazing coffee table. Here's one I prepared earlier, and we're going to have your forearms resting on there. So making sure that nothing is going to slide when you're using it. Feet are about hip width apart for this. Weight in the toes with your shoulders over your elbows, squeezing the quads, so squeezing your legs, squeezing your glutes, and of course your core, keeping the chest lifted away from the surface that you're on. And that you can hold, well, we're going to find out how long you can hold it for. We want to see if we can go from 30 to 60 seconds, okay? Now if that's a little bit easy for you and you want more of a challenge, get your yoga mats ready. Not for yoga, we're not doing yoga. No, wrong class. But we do want a little bit of protection between yourself and the floor. So a folded towel or yoga mat's going to be helpful in that. And we can of course do a plank on the ground, similar style. So again, the elbows are over the shoulders, legs nice and straight, glutes on, quads on, and we stay here and we hold this. Now watch that the hips don't shift and tilt, and that as time goes on, your feet don't slide back, that your shoulders end up behind your elbows. We definitely want that nice straight line, hips nice and straight, nice and high. And that's going to be your first exercise for this workout after you've done the warm up. Following that, we're going to stay on the floor, and if you have a band, if you have a dumbbell, we'll use that. We're going to go into hip lifts. This is more focused on the back of the legs, okay? I'm going to show you a few options. Traditional, feet nice and straight, hip width apart, keeping the ribs pulled towards the hips, so no extension through the back. This big space, we do not want. Shorter that distance. We are pushing up to make a nice straight line between the knees and the shoulders, squeezing the back of the legs before we gently come back down, touching the ground very gently, and then we come back up. Now for those of you who have back issues, I would say this is going to be the safest option, is to just do it with both legs at the same time. If you want to make it harder, you can, of course. We're going to add an extra rep, so you come all the way up, down halfway, back up, all the way down. Okay, now yes, rest your head on the ground. I'm just keeping mine elevated because I don't want to destroy my beautiful bun. You go right ahead though, okay? So going all the way up, halfway down, back up, all the way down. So that's going to make it a little bit tougher. So how do we go from there? If you have a band, let's see if I can remember how to do this. We are strapping the band over one foot and then over the other, if it'll fit. Okay, we're in luck. So same position. Now of course we just have the resistance of the band situated on the hips. So make sure that's in a nice comfy position before you start. Same deal. You can go all the way up and down, normal repetitions, or if you want more of a challenge, you can go all the way up halfway, up again, and then back down. Keep the knees in line with the hips. We do not want too much lateral movement of the knees, okay? And you should really get a nice burn through the back of the legs. So that's option 2. You want more of a challenge. I hear you. Get your friend Doris the dumbbell on your hips, and same deal. Either full repetitions the whole way or add half a rep to make it more challenging. Now if you have a dumbbell but no band, of course, that's what you would do. So let's assume I don't have, what's a lady's, Bethany. Pretend you don't have Bethany the band. I don't know why I have to name everything, I think it's fun. You would just do your hip bridges like so, your hip lifts like so. Again, adding an extra half repetition to make it a bit more challenging, and bob's your uncle. So that is the second exercise for this workout following the plank. Now after the plank, we're going into squats. So if you don't have any equipment, you would just do body weight squats. Oop, dust yourself off. You would do body weight squats as you did in the warm-up. And of course, to make it more challenging, you come halfway up before you go back down and all the way up. Okay, strong core, all the way down, halfway, back down, all the way again. Watch your knees. We don't want this happening. This is not so good. So keeping the knees pulled away from each other as you come down, halfway, keep them as still as you can. Make sure you're working those glutes. Don't just push from the front of the leg. Use both sides of the leg. That's why you have both sides. So that's option one. We're going to add the band. Bethany, the band. Now we put the band on like a sash, because you're a fucking queen. Right? Am I right? So like a sash, then we're going to step into it. Now with the bands, what I've not mentioned is obviously the wider, the more resistance it provides. Also the thicker, okay? So you can see the difference in the bands here. I don't recommend a specific brand, just purely because I'm not well acquainted enough with the different brands out there. This is called Sanct Band. It's the brand of this one. It's quite durable, it seems quite good. But I don't have a particular brand that I recommend, at least not at the moment. From here we step into the band. And you would have your feet in a normal squat stance. So hip to shoulder width apart, feet can be slightly turned out, strong core, and let the band travel around you as you squat down and then up, okay? Easy. Again, if you want to make it harder, you add an extra half rep. So all the way down, just halfway up, back down, all the way up, okay? And you get a nice little burn. Again, if you want to make it harder again, and if you can, get your penguin walk on as you collect your dumbbell. Doris the dumbbell, that's what we named it, wasn't it? Doris, trusty old Doris and Bethany, the real MVPs. This is a 10 kg dumbbell, just if you're wondering, whatever you have is going to be fine though. Again, bottles, heavy water bottles are going to do the trick as well, just get creative. And same thing, down and up. So you've got the resistance of the band and the dumbbell. How much resistance does the band provide depends on the band. You can look online and get little guides as to that. I don't have a specific answer on that at the moment though. And for the real killer, add half a rep and then a full rep. And your legs will be fried. And that's it, superstars. Keep the dumbbell near the chest. Keep your elbows in towards the dumbbell as well. As we get tired, make sure we're not rounding. We don't want to squat like this. This is not attractive, yeah? It's also not good for you. Keep the chest up, keep the shoulders down, keep the elbows in, keep the core strong, always, always, always. So this is what it looks like from the side. Knees out, knees away from each other. Nice and steady. Cool. How many repetitions? Good question. For the hip lifts, I suggest starting with 15. For the squats, I also suggest going for 15. From there we can always build. That's a good starting point. Once you get to the squats, have a drink. Definitely have a drink. Take at least a minute rest before returning to the plank. Go through that 3 to 5 times. And then you can look forward to part 2 of this workout.